It is 6 o'clock. Call the select board meeting to order of August 9th. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes of July 22nd, 2022.
So moved.
Any discussion? Or is there a second? Excuse me. Any discussion about those minutes? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. Additions or deletions? This is under new business, and this is from Steve. I'm assuming they're the speed limit and yield signs based on the notes. Yeah, okay. All right, so we'll add those to new business. No members of the public, no correspondence. Rob, go ahead with the warrants.
Make motion to pay the warrants, starting with payroll, in the amount of $19,792.85. Number 2, payroll tax, in the amount of $8,789.34. Number 3, general fund, in the amount of $14,746.22. Number 4, highway fund, in the amount of $330,324.82. Number 5, highway equipment fund, in the amount of $2,230, for a total of $375,883.23.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the warrants?
Just a note on the highway of the 330,000. 136,000 of that is the J Road culvert, which is a grant program. We will be getting reimbursed a little over $100,000 for that project. And the Bays and Brothers paving of Wyndham Hill is somewhere around 190,000, and we're getting 100,000 back for that project from a grant.
Any questions about those grants to Steve? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. Next up, go ahead, Steve.
The roadside mower has arrived, and Robbie started mowing today. We have it through August 20th. Winter sand. When we built our budget in November, I had talked to Sir Sosimo, and they confirmed that they were going to be able to supply Townshend for one more year because they are running low on winter sand. We have recently been informed that they are not doing winter sand this year for any towns at all. So we had to go out and get bids. There's 2 companies that are willing to supply us. One is Zaluzny, and their quote delivered to the Townshend garage at $29.50 a yard. And the other price is from Derrick, which is $22.80 a yard.
How does that fit in with what we structured in the budget?
Okay, here's a couple of facts. The sand shed currently right now is 90% full. Okay. The last 2 years we did not spend our budget. We budget 4,000 cubic yards of sand a year, and we've used approximately 2,500 a year for the past 2 years. Now this is all weather driven.
Yep.
So I really don't want to reduce the budget. We've kept the number the same, but I've been short under budget by about 30,000 a year. If we go with Derrick's number, it's an increase of $27,000 on a 4,000 yard quote.
Okay.
So we would fall in line if Mother Nature was the same as it's been the last 2 years. So, but winter sand is running out. And the day's gonna come the next couple of years where it's gonna be a manufactured product.
Okay.
So the days of $16 a yard sand from Sir Sosimo are over.
Okay.
That's what we were paying.
All right. So you said Derrick was the cheapest of it?
$22.80.
Have you worked with him with any projects, anything, so we know what it is?
That's who Newfane used last year, and they were very happy with his service and his product.
Okay. All right. So entertain a motion to accept Derrick as the provider of sand.
Second.
Is there any?
You're making the motion?
Yeah, I'll make the motion. I just didn't word it right. So it's made and seconded. Any further discussion about the sand issue and what it's going to hit our budget with at this point? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? 5-0. Anything further, Steve?
Yes. We have a request to the Townsend Select Board from Huck Wilkin of Peterson Farm at 2670 Simpson Brook Road. Stopped in to the town hall to discuss a request that the speed limit on Simpson Brook Road be reduced to 20 miles per hour. He said the issue is that delivery trucks have their delivery times scheduled according to Google Maps. Because of the turns, the trucks cannot go the speed limit, so when they reach the straight road by Peterson Farm, they speed to try to make up time. If the speed is reduced officially, then it will be changed in Google, and the company will give more time to the drivers, and the need to speed will be diminished. He was asking the procedure for reducing the speed limit on a town road.
To 20 miles an hour,
Yes.
so that when he comes up for 3 months out of the year, that he can have it at 20?
I don't
In
know.
September of 2003, the Select Board adopted a speed limit for unpaved town roads, and it was for 35 miles per hour on all unpaved roads. That was signed by the Select Board in 2003.
And I believe that the 35 miles an hour is the state mandated, well, not mandated, but the state recommended speed.
Correct.
And then like pavement, if it's not marked, is 50. If I, you know,
Unless it's,
unless
Otherwise
it's marked.
unless it's marked, it's 50.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's also, there's also a catch to that it's not enforceable below a certain level. It used to be 25. So if the speed limit was set less than 25 miles an hour, it's not, you can't give a ticket to somebody for exceeding the speed limit in a 20 mile an hour zone.
Now, I live on a street connected to Simpson Brook Road.
Yep.
And I have the same UPS driver that they have. And he does the same thing. Changing the speed limit to 20 miles an hour is not going to slow him down.
But the other one is do we need to change the whole entire speed limit because one UPS driver
No.
is in, I mean,
It sounds like a UPS problem.
Yes.
I think
or
we,
it sounds like somebody's needs to calm down.
Right.
And just
an option
be
to it,
happy that they're here in Vermont.
an option to it is to send UPS a letter, I mean, from the board saying we've received a complaint and to try and slow their people down on these roads. I don't know anything else that realistic we can do because of the, I mean, the limits of what we can reduce the speed for, and without speed enforcement here, being perfectly honest, what good's it gonna do? If you don't have anybody sitting there enforcing it, that's not gonna change anything.
Nope.
So,
It's a good idea.
I think what we, obviously, let me know what you think, but my opinion is at least to start with something, send UPS and Brattleboro a letter and say, look, you know, this is an issue. It's been addressed by some of the town's members, and it, you know, you need to use some more caution. Take your algorithm and change it to 20 on it, whatever you gotta do, but, I mean, I think that's a personnel problem at this point.
Agreed.
Personnel or
Agreed.
personal?
Either way. It just depends
It's
on
a
who's getting it.
personnel problem.
All right, let's work that out. Okay, anything else, Steve?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
There has now been a request for a yield sign to be installed at the intersection of Crane Mountain and Hazel Hill. In 2012, Wyndham Regional Commission did a sign inventory for every road in the town of Townsend. I pulled that out, and there was never a stop sign or yield sign spec'd out for that intersection. So there never was a sign. It wasn't stolen. There just has never been one there. And most of the intersections on Townsend Acres do not have any signage whatsoever. There was a push to post speed limits on Townsend Acres several years ago, and the board voted it down. So that's the sign situation.
Okay. Is this place where this person wants the sign a major intersection?
There's, well, you got Shirley Circle above the intersection, and you have maybe 8 houses past that. Shirley Circle has, well, one burned down, 3 houses in the camp. I think that driveway has 3 houses on it.
Have there been any accidents?
Not that I'm aware of. And I think the issue is probably on the weekend because some of those places are seasonal.
Yeah. Well, what does the board think? Now, if we go with a sign, we're gonna have to have some kind of a traffic study, I would assume, correct?
Not for class 3.
Not for class 3, okay. All right, what do you think?
I would defer to Steve.
I mean, I think if we're gonna put up a sign, I think a stop sign is more appropriate than a yield sign because of visibility
Okay.
at the intersection. Just my opinion.
Rob?
I don't, I mean, it's kind of a new point to me. I look at it and it's like, you know, the people that complain and carry on up there the most are the ones that are the ones speeding. They're the ones that don't stop at anything. They're the ones that drive. If there's a person on the side of the road, they'll buzz by you at 100. I don't have a whole lot of sympathy and thought about it. I think that the place could police themselves up there if they actually really tried it. And I think I said that the last time when we had the conversation about the speed limit signs and all the other stuff up there. And it's like, you know, the one that's complaining the loudest is the one that's usually breaking the rules. And I've worked on that hill where it's like you're there every single day and you're landing right at the road and people go by you at 50 miles an hour and it's not kids, it's grown-ups. It's people that are adults. It's
Should know
people that are, you know, they're not middle-aged people, they're getting to be older people. And they're still speeding, and they're still doing whatever they want. So, I mean, if there hasn't been accidents, and there's one person complaining about it, it's similar to the speed limit situation. Where, what are you gonna do? If nobody wants to take if nobody wants to take and slow themselves down, then it's never gonna stop. And they're gonna keep going faster and faster and faster, and you guys live on Wyndham Hill. You can put as much signage and verbiage on the side of the road as you want. People burn by it just as fast as it is if it's not there.
If I park my car at the bottom of my driveway, everybody thinks I'm pulling out and they go really slow.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Your opinion?
Well, I don't know. If you don't think that it would really do much to deter anybody, I know that, like, I think you're right about Wyndham Hill. People just on their way. I mean, some people go slow, but for the most part, it's just buzzing right up there. I don't think any kind of sign would deter them.
If you go through South Wyndham, the only thing slowing you down is Ed Brown
Yeah.
Parking on the road.
parking on the
Yeah, see?
road.
That's the
It's
strategy.
only thing, yeah, that
Park on the
works
road.
really.
Yeah.
Stop sign wouldn't do much. I wouldn't think, because it's kind of out there, it sounds like, yeah.
Okay, I guess, I guess we should have a motion and we'll make a
I'd make
full
a motion
decision.
to put a stop sign on Shirley Circle.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right, is there any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
That will be 5. 05. Okay. Anything else?
Yes. Green Mountain Power.
Yeah.
Green Mountain Power came to me yesterday. They are asking for permission from the town to bury 470 feet of power line in the town's right-of-way on Sawdust Valley, going from Danny Lucer's Red Barn south. And this falls under the select board. The select board has to vote on this
Okay.
because it's in the town's right-of-way. It'll be buried 36 inches in the ground. It'll have sand on the bottom, sand on the top, and warning tape. And of course, work would be done by their contractor.
It's 36 inches. 36 inches underground?
That's what it has to be.
3 feet.
Now, it's in the road,
Shoulder.
so you're gonna have to cut the trees down, basically.
Well, I drove it. There's 2 trees that are going to be on Vashon's property, who apparently is given permission. that would be affected.
Better than the option that they wanted to do with the field over here and take over 3/4 of the field to put in the air.
Trevero and Hagee and anybody else say?
It stops at Louis' new house
Why are they burying it?
because the existing power line apparently is behind the houses, and they don't want to replace that. They want to put it on the road where it's more accessible for them for maintenance issues, and because of the trees. They don't want to cut all the trees out.
I make a motion to allow them to bury the power line as long as they've got permission from the landowners that they promised.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
Yes, I'll just make a note that there are no culverts involved in this section of the road.
Will there be, or will there be a potential at any time in the future?
There's no place for the water to go.
Okay, all right. I just don't want to cut off our possibilities of having to deal with something. Okay, so we have a motion and it's seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 5-0. All right, I'll ask you again.
No, I'm out of time.
Okay. Treasurer's report. In the packet, there is the bank report, and I'm not gonna go by those numbers because it looks a little bit strange. So what we'll do, it's there for you to see, but what we'll do is go to the actual bi-weekly balance sheet. The working balance on the account are $698,816. If you remove the funds that are reserved for programs, projects, things that that are already approved, which is $195,163, we have operating capital of $503,623. And like I said, I left the other one in, and you'll see by the numbers why it's just a little weird. Okay, anything else? We didn't get a town clerk this time, and I don't have anything new to offer. So we'll move into VEMRS under old business. Now this is the Sullivan and Powers thing that we talked about and tabled last meeting, and basically it is just attesting to the fact that they completed the work that we hire them for the VEMRS part. So that's the state retirement system. Are there any concerns about signing this particular document?
No.
Okay. All right, so let's go with a motion. All those I'll make the motion to approve the Sullivan Powers audit report and the signature that's required to present to the state.
Second.
Okay. Made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? The last question I have for the board is, do you want me to sign this singularly, or do you want to all sign it?
No, you can sign it.
Hold that. All right, propane town garage.
Sure, I just have one more update.
Yeah.
I just got an email from Dead River that they're going to continue to offer their bid, so that's still good.
Okay. Was this one, we didn't have any added pricing on that like before?
No, this is here, $169 for 3 years.
Okay. All right. The propane thing we were holding up because Nito, we hadn't heard from Nito on the inspection of the tanks. And he won't give us a locked-in price other than 20 cents below the daily rate, which is $2.58 a gallon.
Today.
Today. Whatever it is tomorrow, that's what they'll do. However, Osterman will agree to hold the price consistently across the board at $1.99 per gallon through 6/30/2023. And what Connie was just telling me is that Dead River has a 3-year fixed propane rate of $1.69 a gallon. And I know with the fuel oil, they were adding in some fees that we had to pay up front, but it doesn't.
Code and code.
That was code and code, okay. So we have Dead River for propane and we have Osterman. Now, I'm sure what will happen with Dead River is they'll want to put it in their own tanks. So I don't know how much that would cost us in and above. So I guess we have a choice for propane for the year of $1.99 or $1.69.
169 was,
Dead River. But again, we don't know whether they're going to use the existing tanks or whether whoever owns the
We don't,
tanks.
Osterman owns the tank.
All right, so they probably want to put tanks in, and
Which could be like, Nido, which was, there was no charge for putting the tanks
yeah,
in.
that we don't know.
Yeah, we have not explored that
So I guess do we stay with what we got and pay 30 cents more, or do we go to somebody different and hold this up to find out whether they're going to charge us to put new tanks in?
yet. I could email them.
now Osterman won't do a 3-year.
Yeah, well, they're at the end of their 3 years. We've been using them for what, the last, at least 2
Since
years?
we've been there.
Yeah. And this is good through 6/30/23. So they've already gone through the 3-year cycle. And we'll have to look at it again, of course, next year, but.
I think if we could negotiate with Dead River to put in tanks for free, that would be a good idea, but just pushing the issue for another meeting probably.
I would like to
Yes, they
see
respond.
what exactly what they would propose as far as the tank goes. Like, if they're gonna charge more than
Okay.
what it equates out to for the 30 cents difference,
Yeah, okay.
you know.
What does that sound like?
Seems fair.
I mean, sounds fine. I have Dead River and I don't pay for my tanks.
Okay. All right. Well, we can certainly take the time. That's not a problem. Connie, why don't we table this until next meeting, and if you can get an answer for them on whether they're going to charge us for it.
I just emailed him because he had just emailed me.
Okay.
If he responds during the meeting, I'll let you know.
All right. Well, we'll set that aside for right now. Stone Arch Bridge. In here, in this packet, is a bunch of material that we've been going back and forth with the Historical Society on, as far as the bridge up in Bridge 34.
84.
I give it to you this meeting not to make a decision on it, but as something for when Charlie and, what is her name, Liz?
Lee Petty.
Lee Petty come to the meeting next time. There's some deadlines that we have to meet if we're going to go into this project with the federal funding through the National Park Service. I've been assured that if we sign off on this thing and they don't raise the money, the difference between what the taxpayers have already paid, plus the grant, plus that deficiency that's sitting out there, if they don't raise that money, we don't have to carry through. We're not locked into doing it. But so you have some written material to kind of go through and form any questions you have for Charlie or Lee next meeting. Okay?
And does it, I didn't have a chance, but does it mention the final price that they had bidded? Okay, that's it. Is that a later conversation?
No, basically what they're saying, what Charlie has related to me is that regardless of what we have right now, the Historical Society is going to raise whatever money they need to raise to finish the project.
Oh.
So we don't have to worry about what happens with some of this stuff. You know, we certainly need to have due diligence on the $200,000 that the taxpayers have already put into this project. But the rest of it, there's 200,000, there's 221 from federal grants, and that leaves a shortfall of somewhere around 400,000 on the last piece of information we got. And
That's impressive.
yeah,
We're gonna raise $500,000. Okay.
yeah. So that's where we're at with that. And I just wanted you to have everything in front of you before we go into the meeting with Charlie next week. Is there anything else for the good of the cause? Okay, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There we go.